Hi, everyone. It's Pastor Brian Paulson with a special word about our continuing journey to stay healthy and grow as a church community in the love of Christ for one another and for our community. Beginning this week, our session has determined that our campus will be mask optional. What does that mean? For our worship service this Sunday and moving forward, you will have the option of not wearing a mask or wearing a mask. There will be designated areas in our worship spaces, both the sanctuary and the chapel, where masks will be required. Our ushers have recommended that space in the sanctuary will be one of the 4 main floor sections that is closest to the font and the piano, which is where typically our families with children are seated as the children are heading off to their kids' church. In the chapel, we are planning to have some of the back pews on the piano side of the chapel near the table for the children to be mask required, while the rest of the chapel will be mask optional. So that gives you an idea of what our plan is for worship. For events with children, in particular, Follow Me, which happens at 9 o'clock in Fellowship Hall, and in our kids' church also in Fellowship Hall. Those events will be mask required out of concern for the fact that so many of our children are unvaccinated and listening carefully to what our parents have been telling us. So I hope you understand these practices for our Sunday morning experience. In addition, during the week for any of our church activities, that means groups and committees, including our musical groups, each group will set its own terms for masks or mask required or mask optional. So you'll want to be talking with your leaders and with one another about those particular groups. But the basic standard will be mask optional on the church campus by action of the session. We want to affirm the fact that we know everyone is at a different place on this question, and we've been so very generous and courteous with each other along the journey so far, and we ask you to maintain that same sensibility, knowing that what might feel like a moment of joy and freedom for you might be a matter of concern for another. And so a spirit of generosity with one another is what we hope and encourage moving forward. We will keep close watch on the rate of hospitalizations in Lake County, and so it's entirely possible that we'll have to take some provisional measure again. But prayerfully, hopefully, with good courtesy and care, managing our health, we are expecting to move forward in this way. Of course, as always, if you have any COVID-like symptoms, we encourage you to stay home. And we will continue to have a streaming version of our worship service in the sanctuary available, where we encourage all who in any way are feeling uncomfortable being present to be able to participate with us. So as we're moving into Holy Week, this is, I hope, some exciting and good news in terms of more participation and involvement. And I look forward to seeing you in the weeks ahead. Let us continue to hold one another in prayer and be mindful of each person's sensibilities. We now have, again, a mask-optional campus. So you can come and be seated with your mask on beside someone who does not have a mask on in mask-optional spaces. And we ask that you exert caring and thoughtfulness one with another. See you in church.